Hey, what's up, rock stars? Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's talk about Ice Cube. Let's talk about the election. 18 days, you guys. Let's talk about why sat Biden, the town hall type meetings yesterday. Oh, I don't think those were town halls. Anyway, let's talk about Kenneth Walker. You guys know Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. Let's talk about Amy Cooper. And let's have a little bit of a Rona check-in, all right? Let's get to it. All right, you guys. So, how y'all doing? How y'all living? I held the let's talk about it to today because one part was because I wanted to watch the, I guess we just call them special events that YSAP and Biden had yesterday on ABC and NBC. And I'm just going to say that I really could have just did this yesterday because those events were non-events. If you ask me, I think that people who you are endorsing or who you plan on voting for is probably the person that you would watch, and if there's not another person there to counter what you say, then really it's just you giving a long ass speech on your policy, on what you feel, what you were going to do. And to me, that's just kind of boring. So I started off watching Biden, and then I was just like, well, I already know what he's going to say. Let me turn to YSAP and see what type of fool of fucking niggatry he doing over there. So, yeah. YSAP is on NBC. A lot of people are upset with NBC for scheduling this event after Biden had already scheduled the event with ABC and George Stephanopoulos. They originally wanted to have this debate be online. Remember, it was supposed to be a virtual debate because of YSAP's coronavirus status. One, now that they say that he is, he's clear, he's negative, testing negative now. But that took a long time for us to get to that too. They was never telling us until just a few days ago. But whatever. Anyway, YSAP was adamant he wanted to have the debate in person. Obviously, I think this was actually not even the call of Biden. I think it was a call of the presidential debate, some sort of, commission or whatever that organizes these things. They were like, no, we're not doing it because you are still sickly and ain't nobody got time to be, and Biden really don't have time. He too old to be sitting up there fucking around with you and being caught the Rona and all of this, so no. In the interest of everybody's safety, not just Joe Biden's, but the moderators, the people, everybody that would be there. So they decided not to do that. YSAP then pulled out and said he wasn't doing it because, the whole issue of debate is for them to be together and basically be able to talk over each other. He was, he made it a point to say that, they can cut off the mic or cut off your virtual feed at any time if they feel like you're over talking. And he already knows he's going to be doing that. So yeah, just no. So this is what we came up with instead. So like I said, Biden had already scheduled this event with ABC. YSAP went to NBC, which you guys know was where he used to have The Apprentice. So he has a relationship with NBC. They went on ahead and gave him his special, and they scheduled it at the same time as Biden's. Now, how are we supposed to watch two people at the same time? I mean, you can now because, you can record one and you can watch the other live because of, that's what our cable boxes do now. But sometimes you just want to see it live. And like I said, I would really like to see them spar. That's the whole purpose of this thing. But I went on and watched YSAP, and he didn't disappoint. The same old same. He did say that he would embrace a peaceful transfer of power. But then he went on again to talk about voter fraud and mail-in ballots being fraudulent. And he said that a whole bunch of his ballots were thrown in the garbage. Now, he just throws out these facts that are facts to him. They're not facts, you guys. They're complete lies. How do you know that something was thrown in the garbage unless it was found? Like, if, and then you can't produce these found ballots. He just says it's the same thing he said with it being in the lake or some river or something that they found for the 2016 election. The moderator, the girl, what was her name? I wrote it down, you guys. Savannah Guthrie. She did try to, try to press him on some things, get him to admit that he has tax issues, which he sort of kind of did. I mean, he said that he makes a lot of money, so the taxes for him is a little different. So somewhere around $400 million, we did come up on that. He still talking about the scientists, not saying that. No, he said that the scientists are divided on whether or not masks, help with the coronavirus, help stop the spread of coronavirus, which is completely untrue. For the most part, scientists believe that masks will stop the spread. Okay, will hinder the spread. I mean, nothing really, I guess, if it's really trying to get out there, is going to stop it 100%. But the mask will definitely help you. Okay. I think he was even heard this week saying something like 85% of people who still wear masks get the virus, which is just completely untrue. All right. That's not true. So he just throws out these things, and he knows that it will stick with somebody, even if the majority thinks that he's a lie. Maybe he can get a few people over on his side, and he's just trying to inch along and gain more and more supporters. So that's kind of how his MO goes. He even started up with that whole Democrats is running a sex trafficking ring and all of that. You guys, just a lot of malarkey. And like Hillary Clinton said, I didn't watch Joe Biden, but I am going to assume that he was pushing his own agenda on over there. I'm sure that it was a lot less calm. I mean, a lot less, probably just boring, because it's just like, we already know what you stand for. That's the whole reason for it. So yeah, I just was like, I could have did this yesterday, but I did have some things I need to work on with the Roxy Reads Book Club. If you guys are interested in joining, you can come on. I got a few new people in, okay, and I appreciate y'all. We having our mid-month meeting on Sunday, you guys. But anyway, that was a shameless plug. But yeah, you guys, did you watch that? It looks like both of them have confirmed that they will do a final debate next Thursday. So we will get, and I believe that this one is going to be in person, all right, because, YSAP is now cleared officially by his doctors, and as long as Biden doesn't come down with the Rona, which we are praying that he doesn't, it seems to be getting closer and closer to home, you guys, because we know that Kamala Harris is, there's two people on her team, not the closest part of her team, but there are two people that were diagnosed with, that came down with the virus. Are you supposed to say diagnosed? Diagnosis for like a disease, right? Not a virus. But anyway, well, maybe it was diagnosed. Okay. But two people were infected. So Kamala has pulled herself off of the campaign trail for a few days, just in the interest of keeping everybody healthy. She continues to test negative. Biden continues to test negative. But, it's just so ironic that all of these things are starting to get closer and closer to both sides of the campaign, and I mean, we got 18 days, you guys, 18 days from today. Is election day. So 3 weeks and it goes down. So yeah, maybe we'll get what we want in that last debate. But really, now that I think about the debates, I don't know what are they for really? Because I feel like people who have made up their minds have made up their minds. It's almost like political fodder, like just something for them to do, just to get up on stage and just see how they handle each other. Like, I don't really understand what the purpose is, because I don't know if I feel like debates change people's minds. Let me ask some of you guys out there who are undecided. Do you get something different out of these debates? Not for the people who said that I guess this could be for people who said they're not voting 100%, or for those who are undecided, have any of you ever had a debate that has changed your mind? Okay. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all thought about the debates. I mean, whatever that was last night, the events, I'll just call them the events. I was just like, meh. All right, you guys. So like I said, the election is in 18 days. I did cast my vote early. I waited till Wednesday, which was a couple of days after the first day of early voting here in Georgia, because I knew the first day was going to be out of control. And then I knew as the days go on, the lines would be shorter. And that's exactly what happened. I got up at 7 and got dressed and was there at the place, the early voting place, which is right around the corner from my house, and and got there by 7:30. The polling, the place didn't open until 8:30, so there was a line that was formed outside, but the line was not long. Okay. I stood in line, back was killing me. I was like, what the fuck is wrong? I can't stand for more than 30 minutes without my lower back. Child, it was on fire. By the time we got to 8:30, I was like, oh my God, like as long as I'm moving, it's fine. But that pressure on my lower back, it almost got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna have to sit on this ground because I ain't gonna make it. There was this one lady that had like the walker, but it has the seat on it as well. I was like, girl, that was a good ass idea. Okay. I wish I could sit on it. Like, girl, scoot over a little bit. Let me sit. But anyway, once the line opened at 8:30, I was done by 9:15. So, and when I left, the line actually was not even as long as when I got there. So it was very short, maybe about 30 people in line when I left. So, and it was very well organized. We didn't have any issues. I went in there. The only issue that I could say, and that wasn't even really an issue, is just that the computers were really slow. So it was taking a long time for them to pull up my name. I was like, okay, ain't gonna be no shit, right? Because I know I've been living in this house 15, 16 years. So I should, it shouldn't be nothing. And I vote, when it's time to vote. So I shouldn't have got kicked off anything, but they were able to find me. I went and cast my vote, and then, the paper printed out, and then you go and I just put the paper into the slot. And I thought that was it. I was walking away, and the guy was like, no, you got to wait and make sure that it was accepted, because if it comes back out, we can't touch it. You can only be the only person to touch it and all of that. So it was all above board, like legit, like evidently there are some people or some polling places where they are touching your ballot or marking it or doing whatever. And if any of that is happening, then your ballot is not deemed legitimate. So you can only be the person to handle your ballot. You can be the only one that can slide it into the slot there, put your card in, all of that. All right. So it was all good. I mean, I didn't have any problems, and I live with your cousins, and everybody was good and did what they needed to do. So I did not have a bad voting experience at all. I'm glad I didn't go on that first day. Because 9-10 hours in line, no. And I think you can you can vote for the next 2 weeks. So it's just like, everybody was in a hurry on that first day, but I was just like, no, I can just wait. As long as I know that I get my vote in, I can wait a few days. So it worked out for me. Have you guys voted early? I know that different states are opening up early voting on different days. There are some states evidently that don't do early voting, which I didn't know. I thought everybody had that opportunity, but that's not always the case. And then, of course, if you are voting through mail, make sure that you get your absentee votes, absentee ballots. My son had to do that from Louisiana because he's in school. So, got to make sure that you get those things in on time as well. Okay. If you plan, and you should be planning on voting. So that's what's what when it comes down to voting. What has been your experience? Did everything go as smoothly for you as it did for me? Were you faced with any hiccups? They say that 5 million plus have already voted early, you guys. So people are definitely getting out and making it happen. There's going to be a huge voter turnout for this year, much like it was when, the first time that Barack Obama was running for president. I mean, everybody was voting then, and I think we have that same situation now. So yeah, you guys, anyway, y'all let me know how your experience went. Leave all that in the comments below. All right, you guys, so let's talk about Ice Cube. I have been avoiding this because it's been out there. It's been floating around. Ice Cube has been very vocal about his feelings about the black contract with America. He is very much a speaker on the ADOS movement. I think it's ADOS, which is the American Descendants of Slavery. He is all about being for the black person. Okay, we cannot wash it out or water it down with people of color, because people of color, this is the very smallest, very layman's dumbed down explanation of the ADOS movement, which is that they are for black people. We cannot say people of color, because people of color washes away black people. Now you've got to be talking about immigrants, and you've got to be talking about all of these other people. And while they have had their own issues of racism and injustices, none of them have faced the same things that American descendants of slavery have. Okay, so I do understand the movement, and the fact that black people are just still at the bottom of that totem pole, even when you start bringing in all of the other people of color. We are at the bottom. So somebody has got to fight for the black people in and of themselves, not people of color. Okay. And once we can get some justice for black people, then, and only then, can we open it up to, the injustices and things that other people face. But those who are in the ADOS movement, I do follow a few people who feel very strongly about it. Like, it is you can't deny it. The things that they say make very much a lot of sense, and things that you probably don't even think of until one of those people bring, that information to the light. So I do understand. My whole thing is, I just wish that this black contract with America would have happened. Now, Ice Cube could have been working on this before, we got deep into the elections. And maybe we just didn't know, wasn't at the forefront. Maybe he was trying to do things behind the scenes and hoping that he could, whatever it was that he was doing. I just wish that this would have happened before we got a few weeks before the election, because I am aware that he contacted. Remember, I talked to you guys a little bit about this black contract with America maybe about a month or so ago. And evidently they contacted both the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats said that they will address it after the election. And the Republicans, when he went when his people went to the administration, they said that, okay, they would make some changes to their policy and plans. Now, I don't know what those changes were. He mentioned something in a video that he posted on his Instagram, that it was $500 billion. I just was like, nah, I really need to see this. Okay. Because while black people hold a lot of influence when it comes to economics and culture and just a lot of things that happen in America, I can't imagine them investing $500 billion into us. It's sad to say. It is sad to say, but but if that's what they said they would do, and if they could hold them to it, I mean, that would be great. Okay, but I don't know what the plan is. That's part of it. I don't know what exactly is on the black contract with America. Black contract with America. I think that's what it's called. You guys don't quote me. But when he spoke to the Republicans, they said that they would make some changes. He said he doesn't trust either side. He's just going to wait to see what happens. But it's just out there that the Republicans were willing to listen to what they're requesting and possibly make some changes. This close to the election, it feels like pandering on the Republican side. Like, okay, we just gonna tell them that we gonna do this, and then, maybe we'll get some people over on our side, or maybe we'll just stop people from thinking about voting, period. And that will help us too, And then what I hope doesn't happen is that they kick Ice Cube and this black contract with America to the side, Obviously, I'm not really politically savvy to the point where I would know for a fact how it is that you hold these groups, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, really to what they say. So I'm not sure if there's like true contracts that are signed and, that are legally binding that you have to hold these people to, or what. It's not a good look to make it look like he's working with YSAP. Now, he's come out and said, no, he's never met with YSAP. He hasn't met with them. He hasn't met with the woman who tweeted and said, gave him a shout out for working with Trump's administration, having the courage to do so. He is just trying to make it happen for black people. And, but I just hate that. I hate to even have to say Ice Cube and YSAP in the same sentence. It breaks my heart, you guys. It breaks my heart. Oh my gosh. It hurts a lot. So we'll see what happens with this black contract with America. I don't know if his message has helped or hindered, if it has changed minds. You guys can let me know if it has made you change your mind on whether or not you're voting, or, who you lend your support to. Does Ice Cube's influence your decision? You guys just let me know what you think. All right, you guys, so there's so much going on with this election. There's just so much happening. Over in California, we have the Republicans. They have been accused of putting fake official boxes, drop boxes for ballots all over LA County, Orange County, Fresno. Is it Fresno County? Up in the Fresno area. They've placed these boxes around for the Republicans to go and drop off their absentee ballots, okay? And they've called them official boxes. Well, they aren't official boxes. They are boxes that the Republicans have just decided to put out there. Now, the Republicans' argument is that they aren't doing anything illegal. They are just having boxes up for Republicans to put all of their ballots in so that they can gather up the ballots and make sure that those ballots make it to the official drop box. Okay, it's called ballot harvesting, basically, and that is not against the law. But the fact that these boxes are misleading by saying official, and the California officials have told them they need to take the shit down. But there's no law, I don't believe, that actually says that they cannot do this. So the Republicans have decided that they're not taking the damn boxes down until you can provide them with some precedent that says that they can't do this. Okay. And I mean, it wouldn't be that much of an issue, I don't think. I mean, it would be the same as if, you had like a big meeting for your Republican homies and you was like, bring your ballots, if you too old and you can't get down there, you're sick, and, you afraid with the COVID, I'm going to just take them all down for you. Okay. That makes sense. But the problem with those ballot boxes, I think, is if we get some Democrats who are confused or don't realize that this is just for Republican ballots, go and drop their ballots in there, then who's to say that their ballots might not make it to the official drop box? It's confusing. People don't, even if you can read things, and it's just confusing. You get older and, things, because old people, they just used to going to the damn voting booth and just putting their votes in. All this new fandangled shit that they done came up with. These old people. I mean, when I was little, you guys, I used to go with my parents literally to one of our neighbors' houses. Okay, we used to cast our vote. My parents used to cast the vote in the people's houses. The kids would all be sitting outside, and they would actually have a line of people that would just go in the houses, and these people would have ballots. I mean, the voting booth things set up in their living room, living room and dining room. Okay, can you imagine something like that happening now? So when you get to telling people like my dad, who is 83 years old, that, you know, we got to be doing all this electronics and ballots and dropping them and all that, like, that's a whole lot for some of them, you know? So it can get confusing. And just to cut out all the confusion, they want them to take it down. But as of now, I don't think the Republicans have taken it down, and I don't believe they have any. I don't think they are inclined to do that at all. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's see. Do I have anything else that I want to talk about as far as the election is concerned? Nope. Let's move it on along. All right, you guys. So we can talk real quickly about this plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, and the Virginia governor, Ralph Northam. Is that his name? We know that the Wolverine Watchmen, I think they arrested 13 of them that were involved in the plot initially, and that there are more arrests as time go on. They, you know, are delving deeper and deeper into the kidnapping attempt. Evidently, they were going to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, Ralph Northam, and then try to overthrow the government. They were upset with those governors because of the coronavirus, the shutdown on the economy, them not being able to go to work, kids not being able to go to school, people not being able to socialize, you know, all of that. We remember when they all showed up at the state capitol with their guns, not blazing, but their guns out, and very threatening and all that. So yes, this was the right-wing militia group, much like the Proud Boys, and there are many others that are gaining popularity, that are getting bolder. And you guys have YSAP to thank for many of these things. And nobody said that they didn't ever exist, but I believe that YSAP and his division, you know, his extreme message of division and contempt and all of that is the reason why these groups now have started to really surface. And then, of course, this crazy, chaotic time of the election. And I guess them feeling like they're about to lose something, you know, has brought this all about. So, scary. I saw the press conference that Gretchen Whitmer did when it first happened, when they first arrested the people, and she seemed pretty calm. I guess she had been working with the FBI and all to, you know, she was very aware of this operation and what was happening. But I mean, it's just par for the course, you guys. This is a crazy, chaotic time. You know, I never would have thought that 2020 would have been like this. And we honestly have something to tell our grandkids, you know, in my case, my grandkids, and you know, you guys y'all can tell y'all kids and they kids, you know, what all that happened in 2020. I mean, it is a for real story. So yeah, scary. And I think they're making more effort to try to root out all of these right-wing far right militia groups, and but they are definitely out there, you guys. And just a scary thought. You know, I know at one time, you know, politics was just trying to do something for your community, and now it has completely turned into something else. You know, it's almost an entertainment industry on its own, you know, and good and bad parts with that. So yeah, hopefully that Miss Whitmer and Mr. Northam can keep safe, and even others who might not even realize that they may be the victim of a plot like this as well. You know, craziness, y'all. I just want 2020. Y'all, 2020 is a hoe. I want that shit to be over. Amy Barrett. Is it Barrett or Barrett? It's Barrett, right? The Supreme Court nomination pick. I mean, what is there really to talk about? It really feels like a formality. We already know that the Republicans have the Senate, and they are going to make sure that they confirm this woman, just like we saw Brett Kavanaugh, and we saw all of the issues with him, and some say even had proof that he had raped these girls in college, and we looked all through his planner and all of that. At the end of the day, the man was confirmed, and that was that. Now we have this woman who, very much like Brett did, avoided the questions that she didn't want to talk about, didn't want to talk about Roe versus Wade, didn't want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, didn't want to talk about her being the deciding vote on, many issues, and she just didn't want to talk about it, and she didn't have to. There's a lot of emphasis put on the fact that she's a mother, of her kids, and that was their way of like humanizing her. But it just all feels like a formality, because the Democrats can yell and fuss and whine and be mad all they want. They don't control the Senate. So they really can't stop this. It's very much hypocritical. We all know what happened when President Barack Obama tried to do the same thing. Well, it's not even the same. It was like 8 months before the election, and they said that he couldn't do it. It was an election year. But now we got 3 fucking weeks before the election, and here you guys are confirming this woman, So... I mean, whatever she says in there, just like anybody else, you're going to do what you want to do, right? So I can't even worry about what Miss Amy says when she's at these confirmation hearings. I mean, she seemed to handle them well. She didn't look all that stressed because she knew that she was a shoo-in. So that's what's happening with that. And then, you guys, we can do an update on Amy Cooper. You guys know she is the woman who accused, I didn't even write his name down, but the black gentleman who was bird watching in Central Park. Remember, she accused him of assaulting her and said that he threatened her life, falsely called the police. He was recording her the entire time. She about choked out her damn dog trying to get this whole thing done. She eventually was charged for filing a false report and all of these other things, and she was facing a 1 year in prison for a misdemeanor. All right. He didn't want to charge her. He didn't want to press charges. He just was upset that she even did this in the first place. We found out that she also had made a second call after they had left the park. Remember, the police, by the time the police got there, they were both gone. Okay. And the only reason why this ever came up is because he had sent it to his sister, and his sister is the one that posted it on social media. So evidently, when they were away from each other later on in that day or whatever, she made a second call and again said that he had assaulted her, and that, well, you know what? I don't even think originally she said that he assaulted her. She just said that he was threatening her life, which he wasn't doing at all. As a matter of fact, he was like, please stay away from me. But now on the second call, she actually said that he assaulted her. Okay. So they have worked out some sort of deal. And instead of her having to face that maximum sentence of 1 year jail time, they are going to be sending her to like some sort of racial insensitivity class or something like that. I didn't think that they were going to put the woman in jail, but I won't lie, I feel like, she getting off easy. I feel like, because the consequences of her call could have, we've seen it, potentially have got this man killed, If it had been the wrong day at the wrong time, this man could have actually gotten killed. So the potential of how horrible this could have turned out, it feels like she should get worse than this, a slap on the wrist. She should have got something, some jail time, just to scare her monkey ass up in that jail, because she'd have been terrified up in that bitch, because you just can't do this. You know, we fucking bird watching, and here you go talking about somebody is threatening your damn life when that man wasn't even thinking about you, you know. So, but yet and still, they said that they gonna work out the arrangement, but you know, it's been settled. November 17th, they're gonna give the for real details of what her settlement is, but that's a done deal there. So Amy Cooper did escape jail time. Do you think she should have went? And then, you guys, if you want to be pissed off and discouraged and upset all over again, you then need to watch the interview that Gayle King did with Kenneth Walker, which is Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. This is the first time that we actually got his account of what happened that night or that early morning when the police did a no-knock warrant on their home. And it's just upsetting, you know. It's just terrible. I can't even think of the words that I felt when I watched it. You know, first of all, he's a soft-spoken, well-spoken kid. I mean, kid, I say kid because he could be my child, but young man, you know, just explained that they had a normal day out. They had went out to dinner, came home, played card, watched TV, went to bed. There was a banging at the door in the middle of the night. You know, when you live around your cousins, banging. I mean, really, when you live anywhere and somebody's banging at your fucking door at the middle of the night, that could be alarming, jarring. What the fuck? Why is somebody banging like this at my door, especially in the middle of the night? You know, so he said that they jumped up, they were putting on their clothes, they kept on saying, who is it, who is it, who is it? Well, we know that we can assume with these no-knock warrants that the elements of surprise is what we going for here. So you're not going to say, it's the police, we coming to come, you know, you're not going to announce yourself. Instead, you're just going to batter ram or bust the door in, which is what they did. At this point, he still didn't know who it was. They didn't say the police. He fired one shot, and in return, they fired 32 shots at him, okay? He didn't get hit, which is, like, miraculous. But Breonna Taylor got hit a bunch of times. They said 8 times, and she was killed. But just to hear how he was treated, but what you find out from that interview is, though, that very soon, somebody on that scene realized that this was a mistake. Okay, they hadn't treated him like a criminal until they put his ass in the car. And then somebody came up to the car and said, this has been all a misunderstanding and we're going to get this all cleared up. They took him down to the station. They took him out of his handcuffs. They let him walk around. You know, nobody was really still telling him what happened, but they knew that they had made a mistake very soon after it had happened. And then the video is just so callous because you see the body cam of them being in the house and, you know, them just saying there's no criminal activity here. You know, she's done. Oh, if I was a mother and I heard that, man, I would be so fucking pissed. Oh, it is so upsetting. Oh, I feel so sorry for Breonna Taylor's mother. I just cannot imagine. But anyway, he is a normal guy. He's concerned. He doesn't know if his girlfriend is dead. Once he realizes that he shot the police, he's like, did I hurt him? Is he okay? Like, he's a normal human being. He wants to know what exactly is going on. They didn't tell him because I know that they were protecting themselves legally, whatever they could do. And, but it's just, God, it's just, that interview was upsetting. So if you want to be upset and be even madder and just about what's going on with that whole Breonna Taylor thing, then you guys watch that video. But I'm telling you, it's 10 minutes that you're going to wish that maybe you didn't watch, because that shit was horrible. And then lastly, you guys, RonaCheckIn. How you guys doing? I tell you guys, the Rona is getting closer. It's definitely getting closer to home. One of my good friends, no, not Debbie. I have more friends than just Debbie, you guys. But one of my good friends tested positive. Told me yesterday she's scared upset, said that, basically we just getting too lax out here. People are fatigued. Quarantine fatigue is what they call, just tired of social distancing, tired of wearing their masks, kind of feeling like, oh, it's going to be okay. And, we've all been guilty. I know that I have even of that as well. And my good friend got caught up, and she, along with a few of her other friends, they all caught the virus. So just prayers up for my good friend. I told her she was going to be okay. She's scared, of course. And so, yeah, it gets closer, you guys. There's definitely that surge that they said was going to happen in the fall. Well, it is happening. 41 states, I believe they say, are going up. Their numbers are going up. It is just ravaging. It's going through the Midwest and the Middle America, basically. Wisconsin, Michigan, all of these places that weren't getting these issues, Montana, they are now starting to find themselves so overwhelmed that they don't even have the capacity to take care of these people in their hospitals. They're shipping them off to different hospitals and sometimes even different cities and states. So, whereas the outskirts in the south of the United States was really getting hit hard, now it has moved up, and you can see it on the map. I think they said there's only 9 states that are holding steady. And for the most part, those are states that were hit early and kind of have been through it and maybe are a little bit more rigid with their quarantine rules and their different phases of what they're doing now. But yeah, it's going through Middle America, and it's bad news. YSAP and them are still trying to say that they got the disease, the virus under control, and you ain't got to worry about it. Just throw it at the wall and see what sticks. They just say what the fuck ever. And clearly it's not. They say that, I guess they were going for this whole herd immunity and trying to say that most people have had it. Well, the fact of the matter is 90%, or, somewhere between 80 and 90% of Americans still have not had coronavirus. You may feel like you have had it. I know many of us have told ourselves that just so that we can justify maybe being lax on the mask or social distancing. Like, oh, I already had it. Because, back in April, I had even I was like that. I had a really bad sore throat, but wasn't able to get a test back then. And so, so people have told themselves that they've already had it so they can go on. But that's not the fact of the matter. Okay. We are nowhere near herd immunity. And what herd immunity is when everybody has gotten it, so there's nowhere for the virus to go and it dies out. They're trying to get people to believe that that's what the case is. That is not what the case is. So we got all these states that are going up, others that are 9 that are just holding steady, but nobody is in the decline. Nobody's numbers are going down. You either holding where you are or going up. And that's still not good. And of course, flu season on top of the coronavirus is just a lot happening out there. So people need to continue to be safe. Okay. As far as this vaccine that YSAP was trying to say would be available before Election Day, the head of Pfizer finally came out and said, no, it will not. It's going to be more likely like December before a vaccine is available. So kind of shooting down what YSAP was saying. The head of Pfizer, I didn't get his name, I'm sorry, but he was trying to say that he wasn't, crumbling under political pressure to hurry up and try to rush this vaccine through. But that's what a lot of his colleagues and people who are in that field all believed. It was clear that YSAP had met with him and, had been reassured, or he had put the pressure on them, and he finally told YSAP that, yeah, they would have this vaccine by then. But you can't rush science. And if you are going to stick to the way that a test should go, then you can't rush this vaccine out. So now he's come out and said that, yeah, it won't be then. And all of the others that are also doing tests. What is it? AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Pfizer now. They all have said, yeah, they won't have a vaccine before Election Day. Okay, so you guys can just prepare for YSAP to rip him a new asshole. I actually do believe that he said that the FDA, are just setting him up, basically, and that it was a political hit job, that he's never tried to make the vaccine be political. It's just, you're saying it's going to be ready before Election Day. How much more political does it need to be, But, yeah, so that's it. If you were waiting on this vaccine, which, just going from my comments, most of you guys have no intentions of taking this vaccine. And the ones that will be taking it mostly work in the medical field from my comments, and either don't have a choice or, are going to just listen to the science and see what they decide there. But, yeah, you guys, that's what's happening there. But like I said, you guys, we can't continue to be lax. The shit is real. And now that we're getting colder and people are going to be forced back indoors, now there's a higher threat for you to catch the virus. So we have to be diligent, and we have to try to just do the same 3 basic things. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and social distance. All right, you guys, that is it. I still got to do top of the blog, so let me move it on along. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Rox. The channel is for It's Rox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.